This is Inside Indiana Business Radio for the morning of Friday, May 10th, 2024. I'm Alex Brown. A federal judge has ordered the Granger-based owner of dozens of mega liquor and smoke stores to pay nearly $355,000 in back wages and damages to 156 employees following an investigation by the U.S. Department of Labor. The judge issued a preliminary injunction Thursday against Bola Singh following a lawsuit alleging he retaliated against and intimidated employees who were owed back wages in violation of the Fair Labor Standards Act. Since its founding in 1911, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway has served as an incubator of automotive innovation, and IMS President Doug Boles says fans will see some new innovations in the race cars themselves during this year's Indianapolis 500.
The car is going to be lighter that runs the Indianapolis 500 because of the hybrid engine or the hybrid unit that's going to be in the Indy car starting later this summer. There's some components that were lightened, so we'll be about 30 pounds lighter in May, which means the speed should be up.
Numerous breakthroughs at the track have translated into the daily driving experience, such as rear-view mirrors, seat belts, tire technology, and front-wheel drive. Chicago-based construction firm F.H. Passion is expanding its presence with a new regional office in Michigan City. The company said Thursday it made an initial investment of $250,000 to build out the space and is adding 9 jobs. From the number one source for Indiana business news, this is Inside Indiana Business Radio.
IBJ Media, Inside Indiana Business, and the Indiana Economic Development Corporation invite you to the Engage Indiana series, presented by CareSource, Indiana University, and Old National Bank. With an unrelenting focus on growing Indiana's economy, we'll dive into each region's unique challenges and distinct opportunities for growth. 9 regions, 1 goal. Indiana's bold future starts here. Discover more and register at ibj.com/engage.
A Purdue University associate professor has received a $2.4 million grant from the National Institutes of Health to fight lung infections resistant to antimicrobial drugs. Here's Gary Dick.
Tony Joe leads a team of researchers from Australia, Thailand, and the United States in developing inhalation treatments for lung infections. Purdue says his research in antimicrobial resistance has yielded 2 U.S. patents, 4 patent applications, and more than 70 publications in peer-reviewed journals. Joe said oral and intravenous antibiotic drugs are often ineffective in treating lung infections because of limited drug exposure where the infection is and because of systemic toxicity. He said that can make lung infections caused by resistant bacteria extremely difficult to treat, noting that lung infections are the 4th leading cause of death in the world. Purdue says Joe's inhalation therapeutics help antibiotics directly reach the infection site in the lungs to better kill bacteria, and they can avoid systemic toxicity because fewer drugs are absorbed into the bloodstream. Joe says the successful development of the team's invention could save tens of thousands of lives from various lung infections, including cystic fibrosis and ventilator-assisted pneumonia. Joe has now received 6 federal grants totaling $10 million, including 3 in the past 8 years, to support the inhalation therapeutics research. This is Gary Dick for Inside Indiana Business Radio.
A company affiliated with the Simon family, owners of Pacers Sports and Entertainment, has paid $10.5 million to acquire a downtown Indianapolis parking lot that Mayor Joe Hogsett administration officials have said is key to a site under consideration for a Major League Soccer stadium. The purchase of the 5.2-acre surface lot near the Indianapolis downtown heliport was finalized April 29th. A state sales disclosure form indicates the property was purchased off-market entirely in cash by a company named 101 South Alabama Development, LLC, which has the same address as multiple Simon companies. Administration officials said they are considering 2 sites for an MLS stadium, one of which could incorporate the parking lot. The Hogsett administration has submitted a plan for a taxing district that would support stadium construction at that site. Horizon League Commissioner Julie Rowe Latch is this week's guest on the Business and Beyond podcast with Gary Dick, presented by PNC, a weekly conversation with high-profile Hoosiers in business, sports and entertainment, and beyond. Available now from your favorite podcast provider. I'm Alex Brown for Inside Indiana Business Radio on Demand.